Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Signalis. Mixing retro survival horror with modern storytelling, does Signalis bring the genre back or leave it in the dark? Let's find out. Signalis is a throwback survival horror game, complete with inventory management, route planning, item scarcity, and plenty of freaky-ass environments. You play as Elster, an android-type person whose ship crashes on a mining colony planet. She's searching for a partner/waifu, Ariane, but the colony seems to be experiencing some kind of virus that turns the android inhabitants into mindless monsters. The first half of the story follows the premise pretty straight, with you learning more about the station and the androids that live there. It isn't until the second half where what is actually going on starts to manifest itself, with the rabbit hole diving so deep even the premise of the game itself is brought into question. Gameplay is a survival horror in the style of Resident Evil 1, just with smoother controls and an overhead perspective. You have a weapon slot and a tool slot to access at all times, with weapons being the usual pistol, shotgun, rifle, etc. These items take up your very limited 6 slots of inventory, meaning you'll need to hop back to save rooms to swap stuff out as needed. For those who've played this style of horror, you know the real gameplay isn't its combat, but in fact inventory management and route planning. Figuring out the optimal way to both pick up, store, and use key items without being eaten is crucial. Thankfully, the game has an incredibly helpful map in most areas to keep things on track. Enemies generally are dangerous, but can be avoided with skilled play to save resources. Killing only knocks them down temporarily, so similar to the remake, you'll need to use flares to burn the bodies to put them down for good. The puzzles are mostly the usual find X key to go to X door affair, further solidifying route planning, but there's more than a couple brain teasers mixed in as well, all of which were tricky but never too difficult. What's important to know is how slick everything is. I don't just mean the incredible visual style. Quality of life improvements are here all across the board, doing a great job taking an older style of game and modernizing it to be more accessible. And that is Signalis, a throwback survival horror game with an emphasis on story, inventory management, and not getting eaten. So what I like about Signalis? Well, the style and atmosphere here are really outstanding, with the encroaching dread of the early areas manifesting into some real Silent Hill-esque nightmare fuel. Additionally, the story and world are a tantalizing mystery to be uncovered, and it does an excellent job in drip-feeding you more and more information until you have the revelation on what exactly is going on. The characters are also well written and well-rounded. And lastly, I adore how this game looks. A hybrid of isometric and top-down, as well as having PS1 style sprites with not actually pre-rendered but they look like it backdrops. This is in addition to several full 3D scenes and pixel art cutscenes, and somehow all of these art styles blend together cohesively. When it comes to the bad, some of the puzzles are just keys to open a thing that has another key that you use to open another thing, and so on. While definitely common in the PS1 era, it's pretty blatant here that the game is just stringing you along so you have to run through more dangerous areas. Additionally, I understand limited inventory is to force you to retrace into dangerous zones, but things like the flashlight and equipped items taking up space means you have like 3 slots available at any given time, which just isn't enough. Get used to seeing the safe room because you're going to have to run there a lot. And speaking of inventory, the PC version actually got a patch to tweak that, and that patch never came to consoles. Since I reviewed the game on PS5, I was stuck with the old version. To be clear, this is 100% IGN's fault for sacking Signalis' publisher, Humble Games, but either way, it still sucks. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother, and I put Signalis off for years, and I honestly regret it. It's an absolute masterclass of combining old school survival horror with modern mechanics, paired with an incredibly engaging mystery and a surprisingly tender story. I really can't recommend it enough if you enjoy survival horror. And even if you don't like horror games, if you do enjoy story-rich ones, I still highly recommend it, though you may have to play it with the lights on. Don't worry, I won't tell. Probably. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you played or heard of Signalis, are you going to check it out now? Please let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, make sure you go out there, and if you like survival horror, give it a look.